What's good? What's going? It's a wonderful night. As you can see, it's already night time. I think it's going on 9 o'clock, and I decided to make a video. Well, I think I have a list of videos that I want to make. Whenever I have an idea, I write it down so I can make it later on. And yeah, so now I'm just chilling. I pull up, so I decided to make a video. And tonight I'm going to talk about the difference between children from the Caribbean and children from France. There is a lot of differences. First of all, we can't really compare. You can't compare an island with a country, because as we all know, Dominica is an island, and Dominica can go into France multiple times. So there's not much thing to compare about. Secondly, in Dominica there's black people, there's Caribs, and as in France, there's a lot of mixity. There's a lot of mixed people. There's white, black, Asian. It's mixed. So it's very difficult to compare these two countries. These two. Well, you say country, but Dominica is really just an island. So, but anyways, so tonight I'm going to talk about children who grew up in Dominica and children who grew up here in France. There's a lot of differences between them. First of all, if you all know, when you grew up in Dominica, you are more open out to a lot of things. Like, you are more outside, you can be in the garden. Even at one, as soon as you start walking, you're all about walking now. You can be anywhere in the yard playing, you know. There's eyes on you, but you are open out. And knowing that here in France, children are most likely to be closed up. We are closed up, especially in winter time. They are closed up in house. They don't see much people, unless if you go out or your family members coming over. That make a difference. I think the fact that children in Dominica are much more open out to the air. They can play with anything they find outside on the ground. I think that makes them more strong mentally and physically. Makes them more strong. They eat a lot of provisions like fig and a lot of bath water at an early age. Knowing that here, people will most likely tell you to make baby food or make simple little things, you know. So I think, like, when it comes to strength and brain, I think Dominica has more percentage of children who are stronger physical and mentally. Okay, like, for example, we come from Dominica, you don't get scared of spiders or things like that too easily. Knowing that children here who are so closed up, they get scared easily for anything. Alright, the thing about children here is, I think they are less respectful towards adults and towards anybody. Okay, they are less respectful. First of all, here, when you go to school here, your teacher is called by her name or by her surname. That's in primary school. Okay, in primary school. So when in Dominica, you can go and call your teacher by her name or by her surname. I'm not sure why, but that's how they do it here. It's like your teacher's name is Laville. Her name, okay, that's her surname. Okay, her name is Tia. Your teacher's name is Tia. You can call the teacher by her name, Tia, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in that for them. That's just the way they do things. Okay. Next thing is a boy. You know, Dominica, we grow all little boys here, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a tradition. Maybe it's not tradition, but it's something that has been going on for a lot of years, ever since before I was born. So as here, some people take it funny, some people, they get mixed up, but it's like, it's a mix-up that they don't want to understand. Actually, when I'm more respectful in Dominica, they are more grateful. They are more grateful towards you, more grateful towards you as the age group, more grateful to I'm not saying that they're 100% grateful, but there are some children growing in Caribbean who are so ungrateful, but they are mostly grateful compared to children here in France. Children here in France, as they are so ungrateful. Trust me, if you make a child, your own children can be ungrateful towards you. So, yeah. Your child growing up in Dominica is most likely to take care of you when you come old. When I mean take care of you, come and visit you or come and check up on you, you know. And children here, when they grow, like, they will check on you quick thing, but not to the point how a Caribbean child will remember you, okay? Even if they don't have money to give you or something, they will think about you, they will check on you, they will send a friend to check on you. Here in France, like, more you get old as a parent, is more you are like a heavy load to your child sometimes. I'm not saying all the children, but most children, that's how they react towards the elderlies, especially their parents. They will more likely put you in a home for ages, knowing that back in Dominica, children, after we don't have home of the ages down there, but still they will more take time towards you, because that's what gratefulness is. You don't have to be their parents. You don't have to do so much for them, you know. Just the fact that you've been there, you've seen them, they are more grateful. Anyway, this is the next thing that comes up to the same thing as being grateful. It's like children here, you will hear about them only when you see them. So if you see them, you hear about them. But after, when everybody separates, you don't even know if they exist, okay? They wouldn't check on you. They wouldn't find out if you're doing okay or not. And yeah, knowing that in the Caribbean, Dominica especially, from what I remember, children will pass a phone call, you know. They'll make a phone call. Yes, adults make the first steps, but children need to make steps. Another thing about children in France. Children in France love to eat. I don't think they don't know what's good food, okay? They don't understand what is good food. They need to know what's good food. They need to travel to know what's good food. Me as well, when I was growing up, I was getting very tired of eating provision, etc. But when you travel and you go to other countries, you realize that that's the shit. That's the thing. Because honestly, in a big country or any other countries, what we eat is rice and macaroni, you know. Another thing is that growing up, some children don't really appreciate well, growing up in a country like children in France, most children don't acknowledge the advantage that they have by having parents who speak more than one languages. They don't make use of their origins. They don't make use of where they come from until they reach a certain age. That's when they start taking heed of the origin of where they came from, you know. Dominica, for example, small children, they try to talk to Creole, it's the thing, a little word by there, you know. But children here, we have Caribbean children here as well, who grew up in the Caribbean and then they came here, and then their mentality changed completely. That's the thing. So for me, a child who grew up a little bit in the Caribbean and then they came here is most likely to be more opened out to kind of child who grew up here 100%, who was born and raised, or even grew up here from baby. So if you grew up a little bit in the Caribbean, I'm saying that you're lucky. You're lucky you grew up in the Caribbean a little bit, because that kind of mentality children here have stinks. So if you don't have a little percentage of your Caribbean mentality, so another thing is that kids here tends to do like they know everything. especially towards our adults. They know everything and they don't need anybody, okay? Knowing that in the Caribbean, Dominica, for example, well, we're talking about Dominica versus France. In Dominica, children, we are willing to learn and to take lessons. You don't know, you don't know. They are open to take lessons from the older ones, from whoever wants. But children here, they don't want to take lessons. They know everything, and that's because, especially now, we have internet and we have a lot of things getting, a lot of information getting from the internet, and they think they know everything because of that. Another thing is the school system, okay? So the school system here is completely different. I would say that children in Dominica is more smart. I'm not going to turn and twist. They are more smart than the children here. They are more smart. They'll make more wise decisions. Children here is completely different. So when you go to preschool here, let me just explain different steps in school here. So here we have preschool. Preschool starts from 3 years old and 3 years to 6 based on what time of the year you was born. So 3 to 6, 3 to 5, okay? And then we have, in preschool, we have 3 years of schooling, okay? So you must start at 3. You can start at 2 years if the child is mature enough. The child can start school at 2. After 6, when you enter primary school, you have CP, CE1, CE2, CM1, CM2. So you have 5 classes. When you enter primary school, there's 5 classes, okay? Knowing that in Dominica, I'm not sure if it's all the school, but in Dominica we have up to grade 6. Like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, 4, grade 5, grade 6, if I say grade 4. Here we have CP, CE1, CE2, CM1, CM2, and then you pass to high school. 5 years, so 3 years in preschool, 5 years in primary school. Then you have high school, which starts usually at 11, 12 years. So it's just like Dominica, you start high school at 11, 12 years. And in high school, which they call college, preschool is called école maternelle. Primary school is école élémentaire. And high school is college. So in high school, you start around 12, 11. And in high school, you have... So in high school, the classes it's counted backwards. So in high school, Dominica, we say first form, second form, third form, fourth form, fifth form. And yeah, they say it backwards. It's like sixth form is sixième, cinquième, quatrième, troisième. So there's only 4 classes in high school here. There's sixième, cinquième, quatrième, troisième. Troisième, if you know French a little, is third form. So that's, let's say, sixth form, fifth form, fourth form, third form. So we're counting backwards. Sixth form is the first class. Fifth form is the second. Fourth form is the third. And third form is the last class. So there's 4 classes. And then back in Dominica, there's 5 classes in high school, okay? When you finish, you can go to lycée. Lycée is like college. back in Dominica, and in this state there's 3 years of school. So normally you're supposed to finish at 18 years school. So it's a completely different system, but when you watch, it's almost the same thing, but doesn't change that. I think Dominicans, children in Dominica, are very much more smarter than children here. That's obvious about children in Dominica. Well, based on the education that we got in Dominica, we don't really mingle ourselves in grown-up story, you know. So back in Dominica, even if we don't agree with what's going on, or what has happened or what has not, we don't mingle ourselves in people's story. Alright? First of all, from what I remember, we didn't have a choice. Unless if it's really necessary, unless if this person has really been mean, or we don't mingle ourselves unless, you know. But normally we don't have to put ourselves in grown-ups story, because you never know what can happen to you, you know. Now you don't need anybody, but when you grow up, and it's not only because of needing somebody, it's because of respect. Because you're disrespecting people, you can make children tomorrow, and your children can be disrespectful to you, or etc. But the case is that we don't mingle ourselves. We know that children here, they tend to get a little mixed up in grown people's story, you know. Well, coming back to the fact that children here are mostly more closed up than children in Dominica. Children in Dominica have the advantage to go to the river, to go to the seas, even if they don't have much outside parks. But if ever a Dominican child is facing a disaster or some type of thing, lost in the desert, lost in the forest, I think they are more likely to make it out than kids here. Kids here are not prepared for that. They're not prepared mentally. Neither thing about children from Dominica is that they will be most likely to continue school than they most likely to continue school. Their schooling than children here, so they can go as far as possible. They are more determined to finish schooling. I think kids in Dominica have more plans, have more projects in their life.